Well, Mike, congratulations. Fantastic win. What about the performance was it that impressed you the most then?
Well, to be honest, we did exactly the same on Saturday against Welling, but we just couldn't put the ball in the net. So I did say in the change room to the lads before the game, I said somebody's going to, take a bit of a hiding from us. So I thought tonight could have been another sort of 5 or 6. It's lovely to get those 3 goals with 20 minutes to go and be sitting there being nice and comfortable for a change. So that's 3 wins out of the last 4, so that lifts us at the table, which is a nice place to be at the moment.
Was it the kind of performance where everybody did what they should do? It's hard to pick a player out to be man of the match, I thought.
Yeah, I'd pick out Russ if it was me personally, but I thought they all did fantastic really. And they're just trying to do what we're asking them to do. They don't always get it right, which you'd expect, but I just think they're a good set of lads, and they're listening. They're trying to get a little bit better.
Lots of 1-0 wins, not just under sort of your tenure, but throughout the season. How nice is it in the second half to have that 2-goal and then 3-goal cushion?
Yeah, well, believe it or not, we've worked on training. We identified when we came in, we watched a couple of games of earlier on in the season. We just identified that we were making chances, but not maybe scoring the goals that we should do. So we've tweaked it with Zeb coming onto the bench tonight and Twiney coming in, playing up front, and I just thought that sort of 4-4-2 system, especially in the first half, was strong because we had the hill against us plus the wind, and to get a goal as well, it was just overall a nice little plan that worked.
So 2 goals for Scott Twine, could have been 3, could have been 4 maybe, but you've brought him in not just to score goals, but that is a big part of his game, clearly.
Yeah, it is, and I want to try and please the crowd, and I just think with him and Alex Bray that they're a little bit of crowd pleasers. There's something a little bit different. They dribble with the ball, which is what I like, but their end product has been really good over the last couple of games. So crossing, sort of finishing tonight was exceptional. And all-round game has been really, really good from those two. So if I could, I'd like to play 4-4-2 every week, but obviously with the personnel we've got, sometimes you can't do that. And obviously with some of the games that we've got coming up as well, we need to tweak that formation a little bit.
And a clean sheet, do you think you've shored up that defence now?
We have and we haven't, I think. It still needs work. There's certain situations where we're a little bit vulnerable, as on Saturday with the goal against us. But overall, I've just thought that the 2 centre-halves, the way that they've performed, along with Reece Tyler, the right back, and Jay coming in as left back tonight, we looked nice and solid. So it was pleasing from the side because we just didn't look like we were going to get broken down, and they're not a bad footballing team, to be fair to them as well.
And amazing what a game in hand can do on a Tuesday night, up to 15th in the table now. I know it's still tight, but 15th looks healthy.
Yeah, it does. I'll be a lot happier when we get towards that sort of 40 points. If I remember rightly, with Churo and teams like that last year, it was round about that sort of 40 points mark, wasn't it? So the sooner we get to that, the more easier I feel. But we're on a little bit of a roll. The lads are enjoying it. The crowd seem to be enjoying it. The board directors and the chairman are enjoying it. So as far as I'm aware, everything's good at the moment. We've just got to keep that going if we can do. There possibly might be another one coming in this week. We lost out on one over the weekend as well. But possibly in the next couple of days we might have somebody coming in as well.
Is that a loan or permanent or a contract player?
We want it permanent if we possibly could, but it's just we don't say too much because we know that there's other clubs interested in that player.
Can I ask the position?
No.
Okay, interrogation over as far as that's concerned. A lot of people have said about it being an important week. The rearranged game against Concord at home and St Albans at home, 2 teams not that far away from you in the table. 3 points against Concord, how key is it now to follow that up against St Albans here on Saturday?
Yeah, it is key, but we just haven't got to panic, because even if it was a bad result tonight, we've won 2 games recently, so we've picked ourselves up quite nicely from that. But also, I think is it 10 games left now, I think we've got. So it's still, it's 30 points to play for. And we don't want to be instilling into the lads nervousness and being scared to do, things that we want them to do. So we're just trying to keep them level-headed and say, look, you just got to go out there and perform the way that we know that they can perform, and we'll be all right. But if they don't, then we're going to struggle. Hopefully, with that sort of 3rd winner of the last 4 games, that gives them even more confidence.
And you said about looking to get a certain number of points, and you can almost spend hours looking at the table because it is so tight. You can almost drop a blanket over 8 or 9 teams around you.
Yeah, I just think you'll get the odd team that'll drop into it from nowhere, and from our sort, we can only affect our team and what we do. So, like I said before, we don't. I don't look at the table. It scares me to death when I see us down the bottom. And then it's all doom and gloom when you lose one on Saturday, and it's really not, because the performance was we should have gone away from that game with something. We played really, really well, and it's like I said before, I was much more disappointed with the Welling result on Saturday than I was the Dartford, because we were never in that game. But I've chewed over that over the weekend, and then we've had a little rethink about the team and the system of play, and thankfully tonight it's worked.
Well done, thank you.
Great, thanks.